Right now, this is a good time to be studying this topic because Brazil has been undergoing enormous change in the last 10 to 12 years. There's a very lively and very active debate around access to higher education, especially at the public universities, which are free. And the question is, shouldn't every single Brazilian have access to those universities?
We studied affirmative action and affirmative action policy and diversity in higher education and issues surrounding diversity in higher education. So really trying to understand how diversity impacts or encourages or discourages participation in higher education in Brazil.
I had been to Brazil before, and I had been to the museums and the beach, and I met people, and that's great, but I guess the faculty member guides you through, well, what does it mean to see this? And he relates it to the content of the course. Before I knew about, food, culture, but now I can see how that interacts with other things going on in Brazil.
And so what the students are able to do by going to Brazil and studying the course there is to engage with the topic in a experiential way. They're able to hear a variety of opinions and emerge from that with their own analysis and their own understanding of what's happening in Brazil.
For me, I think one that really sticks out in my mind was when we went to a high school in Salvador. And Salvador tends to be, they have a lower socioeconomic status than Rio or Sao Paulo. So the high schools can be very poor. So sitting there with these students and listening to them talk about simple things like, the lights not being on, or the bathrooms not working, or things like that, and understanding that they are trying to overcome just simple structural barriers to gain their education, to gain access into to college and later university and graduate school is really remarkable, because you just feel their passion for learning and you feel their dedication to their education, and it's really inspiring, and that was one that really touched me the most.
Consciousness of one's place in society, and then education, adding on top of that consciousness, can change lives. And that's what's happening in Brazil right now, is that students are going to universities, encountering others and encountering themselves at the same time. And it's changing their lives.
So I guess going to a different place gives you a chance to examine your own reality from a different perspective.
In Salvador, the majority of the people there are Black, and I've never been in a place like that before. I've never had an experience like that before. And I wanted to think about my race and my ethnicity in a different way, not as a minority, but as a majority. Like, what does that feel like? I don't know that I'd ever be given an opportunity like that here.
Increasingly, Brazil really matters. They've just become the 6th largest economy in the world, surpassing the UK in terms of GDP, and it's a place that captivates American imagination just in the way Americans captivate Brazilian imagination.